السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, we are back after a short break for Eid. Eid Mubarak to all the viewers who are watching our lessons. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. May Allah accept all our prayers and all our ibadah. So moving forward, we were learning about fa'al, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. So we're going to continue our lesson on this one, and we're going to learn more about maf'ulun bihi, fa'al and fa'il, inshallah. So we've learned just a quick revision from the previous class. We're going to have a look what maf'ulun bihi is. It's an object of a verb. So any verb when we do and which needs an action, and it has to be done on certain object, that action is called an object, and that is called as maf'ulun bihi in Arabic, and it's always present in fa'il muta'addi. So fa'il muta'addi is which needs more information for the fa'il to describe, and it's always mansoob, that means always have fatha. So that's the revision, and we did a sequence of verbal sentence where maf'ulun bihi is a proper noun. So we have fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. And however, when we translate, the translation sequence will be, for example, if this is example, kasara tiflu al-qalamu, the child broke the pen, and the translation sequence is fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. So however, instead of using a noun, what we can do is we can use a pronoun. So what is a sequence of verbal sentence when maf'ulun bihi is a pronoun? So we know there are 14 pronouns, and the verb has 14 forms, and in 12 forms we know that the fa'il is attached to the verb, and only in huwa and here it is not attached. So in these 12 forms where the fa'il is attached, the maf'ulun bihi, even if it is a pronoun, it will follow the same pattern as fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. For example, if you have here sa'altu, which is fa'il and fa'il, and if you want to attach a maf'ulun bihi, what will happen is, for example, if you have attached to hu, which represents huwa, which means sa'altuhu, so I asked him, it is fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. However, our translation sequence again will be starting from fa'il, go to fa'il and then translate the maf'ulun bihi. So that will be a translation sequence. So let's see in what will happen in the case of huwa and here. Okay, so we know in huwa and here they are like a, you can say, pure forms where the fa'il is not attached to the verb, and the fa'il can be present outside the fa'il, that is after the fa'il. And what happens in this case when a maf'ulun bihi as a pronoun comes? Do we have this pattern, fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi? I say no, that's not the pattern. So what will happen is the maf'ulun bihi in these two forms will be, we have fa'il and then the maf'ulun bihi attached to the fa'il, and then we have the fa'il. So that's how the sequence will be, because the attached pronoun damir muttasil is always attached to a fa'il, not to the fa'il. So the sequence will be fa'il, maf'ulun bihi and fa'il, and the translation sequence again we have fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. This is what we need to remember. For example, if we say daraba hamidun bilal, we did this one. So if we, instead of bilal, if you want to use who, so darabahu hamidun. So again same thing here, sa'alat talibatu al mudarrisa, so the student, female student, asked the teacher. So again we want to change it, sa'alathu at talibatu, so the student asked him. So that's the one. So talking, that's the maf'ulun bihi. So now what we do is we go to the fa'il. So we know fa'il, as we mentioned, that in the verb there are 14 forms, and in 12 forms the fa'il is attached. However, in huwa and here it is not attached. We've learned that in a normal form which is in pure form, like three-letter verb or any verb, it is considered as singular male, huwa. Okay, and for the feminine, it will be singular feminine here. However, today we're going to learn, for example, if you say singular noun, so normally what we say is like ذهب الطالب إلى المدرسة. ذهب is a فعل and there's nothing is attached. So we're looking for fa'il. Fa'il is always marfu, have a sign of dhamma or a sign of marfu, other sign of marfu, alif or waw or whatever, whichever the noun comes here. So looking for dhamma. So the student went to madrasa, to school. That's a singular noun. So what happens if we want to use a plural noun as a fa'il? So for example, if you want to use tullabu, do we write dhahabu at-tullabu? Because dhahabu is a plural form of the verb where waw represents whom and then we have at-tullabu. So this pattern is incorrect because waw will always is a pronoun. So we know pronoun is a substitution. So it can only substitute what has been come before. It will not substitute what comes after it. So it doesn't make sense. So even logically, so pronouns are always represent something which has come before. So we cannot have a fa'il and a pronoun coming first and the noun coming afterwards. So what do we use in this sense where we want to use a noun which is a plural form, like at-tullabu is a jama for talibun. So what we use is we use this form dhahaba. Dhahaba is a huwa form which means singular. However, the fa'il is a plural, so we can use a plural noun which comes like at-tullabu. The translation will be the students went to school. So giving you some examples. So if you see here, al-awladu sharibul qahwata. See, al-awladu is a plural noun and sharibu is a verb. So whenever a plural noun comes first, then we have to use a verb which represents the plural, which represents them. So here al-awladu is a plural muzakkar, so we have sharibu. So waw represents whom and it goes yadullu ala al-awladu. So the children drank qahwa. So if you want to use a verb first and with al-awladu as a fa'il, then we use a singular verb. It's a sharibal awladu. So we won't use sharibu al-awladu because that will be repetition of two files. So and that doesn't make sense here because waw represents the noun which comes before. So say for example, an-nasu sami'u. So it's a plural noun coming first. Sami'u al-adhana. Whereas here, if you use the verb comes first. Sami al-nasu al-adhana. Same thing for the feminine noun. So if at-talibatu dakhalna al-fasla. So at-talibatu is mu'annas. So we have noon al-niswa representing hunna yadullu ala at-talibatu. So yes, dakhalat talibatul fasla. So we use the here singular verb. So that's the formula. So when a noun comes first and the verb which follows it will be representing the noun. If it's singular, you'll have a singular. If it is a plural, then the plural. Whereas if noun comes and the fa'il, the plural noun, whatever is the noun, the verb will be singular. If it is mudakkar, mudakkar, muannas, muannas. Some more examples. At-tullabu katabu al-ajwibata. Ajwibata is answers. Katabat tullabu al-ajwibata. Al-mudarrisuna kharaju min al-fusul. Al-mudarrisuna. The different forms of plurals here. Okay, broken plurals. Jama muzakkar salim, jama muannas salim. Kharaju min al-fasli. So here, what will be here? Kharajal mudarrisuna min al-fusul. So that's how it's written, inshallah. We're going to our main lesson, to lesson number 5, Ad-Darsul Khamisu, lesson number 5 from Medina Book 2, inshallah. So it's a conversation here again, dialogues to analyze and understand. The teacher is asking Al-Mudarris, Man fataha bab al-fasli? Who opened the door of class? So man is ismu istifham, it's an ism here. Fataha is a fa'al. Baba is maf'ulun bihi, and al-fasl is وهو مضاف, and al-fasl is مضاف إليه. So who opened the door of class? So Hamid is saying Ana fatahtuhu. So Ana mubtada, fatahtuhu is the khabar, which is jumlatul fa'liya. So if you see here fatahtuhu, fatah is the fa'il, tu is the fa'il, and who is maf'ulun bihi, it. And how do we translate it? So always fa'il comes first. I opened it. So Hamid is saying. So Al-Mudarris وَمَنْ فَتَحَ النَّوَافِذَ. Say nawafidha is plural for nafidatun, which is window. So who opened the windows? It's a plural. So here we should understand about this jamu ghair aqil. So it will be kullu jama muannath. So the response will be, so that's an-nawafidha is the maf'ulun bihi. So Ali is ana fatahtuha. So because kullu jama muannath, so we use it as a singular now, feminine now, so we say ha. So again same thing, mubtada, khabar, and analyze the khabar, fa'al, fa'il, and maf'ulun bihi. How do we translate? I opened it. So why ha is because of the kullu jama muannath. So al-mudarris man kasara, who broke hadal maktaba, this table. See, who kasara is the fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, and hada is maf'ulun bihi here. Okay, and after hada followed by al is the badal, and we know badal follows the same i'rab as hada. So that's why we have here fatha, because hada is mansoob and the naat or the badal will be mansoob. So man kasar al hadal maktaba, anta kasartahu ya hashim. See, is again, this is harf istifham, this is ismu istifham. Anta, so anta is a noun, singular noun, so you have to use the same verb which represents this noun. So anta is kasarta. Did you break it? Who refers to hadal maktaba ya hashim? So it's fa'il, fa'il, and maf'ulun bihi, and ya is harfun nida, and hashimun will be hashimu with a single dhamma. So Hashim says la. See, because it's coming with a, we will have a simple answer, naam or la. So if it is coming with ama, then it will be bala for naam. So he says la inni. So what is inni? Is a two words here. Inna harfa tawqid wa nasbin, and ya is ismu inna, and ma kasartuhu is coming as a khabar inna. So ma is harfa nafi here, which is a negation. So whenever negation for the past tense verb, we use ma. I did not. So and it says kasartuhu, I did not break it. So again, kasar is fa'il, and maf'ulun bihi, who is maf'ulun bihi. Allah says araja'a. So it's a nice sentence here. A is harfu istifham. So it's raja'a is a fa'il, and we're looking for fa'il. So what do we have here? Araja'a Zakariya wa Hamzatu wa Uthmanu min Makkata. Okay, so we got a chain of files here. Zakariya is a file, Waw is ataf, Hamzatu is mawtufun ala Zakariya, again Waw mawtufun ala Zakariya, and Usmanu. So that's why we use singular fa'al, even if you have plural fa'al coming afterwards. So if the Zakariya wa Hamzatu wa Usmanu was coming before, then it will be Zakariya wa Hamzatu wa Usmanu raja'u min Makkata. Because this is coming after the fa'al will be a singular, huwa for the muzakkar. Mim Makkata, why ta? Because this is a diptote, mim Makkata. So this whole thing can be considered as a fa'il. Amid is la ma raja'u. See, so here we are just using a pronoun because we are representing these. We use a proper verb. Raja'u, did not return. Waw represent these three. That's the fa'il. Abbas, is it? Ya Ustad, خرج الطلاب, خرج الطلاب الجدد. So where is the file here? So الطلاب is a file and الجدد is a not because it's a follows the same era, plural, plural, and the same signs. Wa and ذهبوا, because there is no file coming here, so we have to use the proper verb here. ذهبوا. So the student left, the new students left, and they went. وذهبوا إلى المدير, to the headmaster. So this wow is the file which represents يدل على الطلاب الجدد. So المدرس أفهمت الدرس يا طلحة. So again حرف استفهام فهم, and ta is a fa'il. It's anta in front of, because ya is used, that means you are touching somebody in front. الدرس is the مفعول به. So طلحة says نعم فهمته. See, فهمته فعل فاعل and مفعول به. So what is جيدا? جيدا is مفعول مطلق, which is very nicely. Understood? Nicely. أكتبت الدرس. أكتبت الأجوبة يا فيصل. So did you write the answers يا فيصل? So أجوبة is the same pattern, means for جواب the plural is أجوبة. So like سؤال أسئلة. So these all things that come in a pattern is أفعلة. So that's the pattern for the questions and answers, أفعلة. So did you write the answers يا فيصل? So the Faisal says لا ما كتبتها. See, ما is حرف نفي, كتب is فاعل, to is فاعل, and ha is مفعول به. Ha refers to أجوبة because again كل جمع مؤنث concept comes here. فعل فاعل مفعول به. I did not write it. You say لماذا? Why? The Faisal says لأنني. See, لأن is because, and then it will have a isma and khabar. So here ni is nunu wiqaya and ya mutakallim. So this together forms a ismu anna li anna ma fahimtu al as'ilata. See, ma means I did not understand, and al as'ilata is a maf'ul bihi. I did not understand the question. So why did not write the answers? It's a simple answer, because I did not understand the questions. So al mudar is asking hafista, did you memorize? Hafiza means he memorized. Ta means you memorized. Did you memorize? Surata. Surata is maf'ulun bihi. And al-fajr is mudaf. Surata is mudaf. And al-fajr is mudaf ilayhi. So al-fajr, ya Ibrahimu. So Ibrahim says, Naam, hafiztuha. See, hafiztuha. I memorized it. Wa ataf, hafiztu, and also I memorized Surat at-Teen. Surata is maf'ulun bihi. At-Teen is mudaf ilayhi. Aidan. Aidan, see, singular indefinite noun with mansoob form. So it's a maf'ulun mutlaq. So naam hafiztuha, and I memorized it, and I memorized At-Teen as well. It's also, Aidan is also. So that's our lesson to understand fa'il, fa'il, maf'ulun bihi, and how a plural fa'il and a singular file is used, inshallah. So we'll continue our lesson with a new concept in the next class. Till then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.